Greetings on Creative Society TV. We are happy to see you at this international discussion held in continuation of the International Online Forum, We Are People, We Want to Live, which took place on May 7th, 2022. And a lot of crucial topics were raised during the forum that concern every person living on this planet. But so much information was gathered during the preparation that we could not fit everything in the 11 hours broadcast. So today we will continue the discussion on these topics. My co-host today is Tali from the United States, and we have two special guests. Lina from India, who volunteered as an interpreter for the Marathi language, and Nyanda from Tanzania, our Swahili interpreter.
Thank you, Alexei, and thank you, ladies, for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's really a great honor for us to have you here and participate with the project. And thank you for sharing. First of all, I would love to hear your impressions about the forum. And Nyanda, maybe we could start with you and you could say a couple of words about the forum and what do you think, which topics did impress you?
I think about the forum, it was good because it tried to narrate the real story, what is happening now to the globe. It was not like the abstract, because many scientists give us the abstract issues, but most of the issues have been really reality. So that is the good impression for me, because we stopped just making climate change as history, and it's been in a view of the reality.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. Many scientists did present the information that we couldn't otherwise see on mainstream media because it's not a part of news agenda. And specifically, one thing that's very unique is how volunteers of the Creative Society put together all small pieces of data about climate change in different parts of the world and taken the comprehensive approach to really studying the climate change. I don't know anyone else who's doing anything like this in the world today. Thank you. And now, Lina, let's proceed to you as an interpreter as well. Maybe you could share your impressions and how was it for you? What was your experience like?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm thankful to the Creative Society for giving me an opportunity, to be the part of this. When I heard for the very first time about the global warming and the climate change, it had actually hit me when I was in my hometown back in India in 2021. When just because of this storm, because of this, we had to face with no power supply and no water supply for 8 days because we were in their hometown. We were not in Mumbai city. But with that, constantly I was thinking about this climate change and this, and see after exactly an year, because 18th May was that date, which I remember, that complete week, we were out of electricity and water. And after an year, I am just part of this. I mean, it's just a coincidence, I feel. So, I mean, yes, as it is not a dream. It is actually the reality, and it is our individual choice, I feel, how we will be contributing to the society. That's what I feel. But I'm highly, happy and glad enough to be the part of this Creative Society, to be the part of this project. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. And, the main topic of this forum is undoubtedly the planetary climate change that has to be addressed without delay. And reducing the CO2 emissions may help with ecology, but will not stop the progression of the global cataclysmic events synchronizing all over the planet. And Nyanda, can you please tell us about the impact of the extreme climate events in Africa?
Yeah, I can say Africa cannot isolate from other people because we are sharing the atmosphere. So the impact in Europe, the impact in Asia, it's also happening in Africa. Though some of the adaptation mechanism may differ, but we are all impacted by climate change. When you talk about some of the indicators of climate change impact, let me start with my country. A lot has happened. For example, rising of coastal level has impacted most of the part in the coastal area. Like there is a certain island known as has been submerged. So that is not abstract, it is real. And when you talk about the increase in temperature has been caused some of the part of Mount Kilimanjaro ice to be melt. When you compare to 2000 and the current, you can see the difference. That is the reality. It's not an abstract. Likewise, when you talk about the decline in agriculture in some parts, when you talk about increase in change in weather pattern, like increase in extreme event like floods, droughts, in some of the parts you can see that the land, some animals are dying due to the drought. So those are some issues which have been already observed. And the most part of Africa, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, we have the same climatic condition. That means some of the things which appear in Tanzania already appear in some parts, like Kenya. Last year, 2021, a lot of which was being documented on the impact of climate change. Example, floods. Many infrastructure is being distracted. When you talk about drought, Ethiopia, last year, 2022, a lot of animals have been that have been died. So those are some of the reality impacts of climate change, and not those we can say science on the books. We see it, and those are some of them, I can say.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us what you witnessing over there, because really we know that these things are happening, that climate, as you said, is interconnected. The whole planet is a very small place in which everything is connected, and droughts that people experience in one part of the world are connected to the floodings and other climatic events in other part of the world, as we found out from the forum. And right now, to get a little bit more information about how much interconnected the climate of our planet is, let's watch the next speech from Olga Prochenko about monitoring of the climate.
Hello. We have now watched the video of the monitoring of climatic cataclysms for just 2 months. And only the most extensive disasters have been listed. How many lives have already been lost in these 2 months? A huge international team of volunteers from all over the world worked hard to prepare this video. During all 5 months between the last conference and this forum, we have been collecting and analyzing data about climatic disasters all over the world. We did this every day, and we were shocked by what was happening, especially by how many disasters happen every day. We did it because the full picture is not shown anywhere, not on any resources, which means that people don't understand the real scale of the climate threat. Every story in that video was unbearably painful to watch. But my team and I continued to collect these stories on New Year's Eve and just through the nights, when getting up for work in the morning, and some continued to collect data even during the war, while being in shelters during the bombing. We did this because we understood how serious the climate situation on the planet now is. And if we don't study it, if we don't collect this data, if we don't publicize it to the world, then we all simply have no chance to survive. I'm not a climatologist, but even I didn't have to put much effort into seeing that the scale of climate disasters has increased dramatically over the past 5 months. Our team of analysts has prepared statistics on this increase in climate catastrophes, and now I will share a small part of it. Storms. In Europe alone, the average annual number of storms since 2000 to date has increased 16.5 times. The number of powerful, destructive Category 3, 4, and 5 hurricanes has increased by 30%. Moreover, they now go farther inland, bringing gigantic amounts of precipitation with them. In the USA, tornadoes usually rage from April to October in a certain area, usually, but not now. Over the past 5 months, 2 non-seasonal months, December and March, have broken all records for the number of tornadoes. In the 5 months of monitoring, according to the most conservative estimates, more than 300 floods occurred in 82 countries around the world, and that's just the most extensive ones. Precipitation in Bolivia in December exceeded the historical maximum 7 times. In Spain only, for the last 2 months, precipitation was more than the annual norm. In South Africa, the semi-annual amount of precipitation fell in 2 days. There have never been such contrasts in natural disasters. The heaviest snowfalls are replaced by fires. In the United States alone, the number and area of wildfires are already well above the norm, even before the start of the fire season. There is no fire season as such anymore either. Catastrophic droughts are replaced by equally catastrophic floods. The number and duration of droughts on Earth has increased by almost 30% in 20 years. Sand and dust storms have become more frequent and, most importantly, more intense and longer lasting. Abnormal heat waves are also increasingly covering the planet. In Antarctica, minus 12.2 degrees Celsius was recorded. This temperature exceeds the average by almost 40 degrees Celsius. In the United States, for example, the temperature dropped from plus 15 to minus 14 degrees Celsius in just a day. And that is happening everywhere. Everyone is aware of that, of the extreme heat in India and Pakistan. And after the record-breaking hottest March in the history of observations in India, the temperature rose even higher in April. Human lives are lost after each of these climatic disasters. These lives cannot be brought back. After each of these terrible events, these are either mothers hugging their children, as well as people being buried alive in the lava, as was the case in Indonesia, or whole families left under the rubble of their homes, and those who survived are without water, flood, and everything they had, as it happened in the Philippines. Or entire cities wiped out by tornadoes, with only the foundations of houses left and the remains of human bodies that barely identifiable. There is really a full-scale war going on. The only enemy we have in this war is the climate. To survive this war, we must unite all of humanity and work night and day on technologies that can defeat this enemy. But first, we need to open our eyes and recognize the scale of the catastrophes and the fact that we can delay no longer. For 40 years, we have been told that the cause of climate change is anthropogenic CO2. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars to solve this problem. But why isn't it getting better? Why do people keep dying? Why are so many families left just on the streets, without basic things to survive, without water and food? How has our planetary fight against CO2 helped these people? Yes, CO2 is on the rise. We don't deny it. But what does that have to do with the increasing climatic disasters? I'm talking to you people, to you personally. Are you ready for the climate to destroy your home? Are you ready for your child to be swept away by a flood that comes out of nowhere? Are you sure that it won't affect you? Do you think those people whose stories we watch today are any different from you? Do you think they were ready? Are we ready? Because we will face cataclysms of even greater power than in the last 5 months. The destructive power of cataclysms grows every day, and we as society do not even study this problem at a proper level. Our science is busy with something completely different, and we are wasting precious time. But these are our lives. Be sure that literally very soon, if not a tornado will come to your house, then a flood, an earthquake, or a typhoon. And this natural disaster will spare neither your life nor the life of your loved ones. And in the creative society, this will never happen. Because by combining the scientific potential, we will create technologies with which the climate will no longer be the threat to us. That is why it is now so important that each person actively informs about building the creative society.
Oh, this is a very powerful video from the forum, and it really makes you stop and think about how we are all vulnerable in front of these climatic events that no one is prepared for. And Lina, we know that India wasn't spared by the climate either in the last months as well. Can you tell us more about the situation in your country?
Let me just share here that currently I'm not in India. I have been in Toronto, Canada. So last 5 months I am not here, but yes, on my daily family call, I have been getting the news from my husband, my daughter, that it's super heat. I mean, they themselves, they are experiencing it. And it is, fortunately, we have shifted from the urban city to the hometown. So there it is more greener. So we don't feel that much. But still in Mumbai or the city life, when I have my friends and they are talking with me or they are updating regarding this, yes, I'm getting that it is the heat which is, increasing day by day. Whereas in Toronto, definitely I have not sensed it so much. But yes, in India, it is the heat. And they are already, onto it. It is unbearable.
Yes, we've all heard about this tremendous amount of heat recently. And prior to that, it's also, we get in this news about floodings and different things. And we see how much often and how much more severe it becomes in different regions of the world. And the heat wave that affected India, it's also not only India, because climate doesn't have borders. And we see that all around the world, it's a very strange weather patterns which don't fit the previous, the ways it used to be, like previous models not working anymore. And this is why we're talking about unity of the whole scientific potential, because to figure out how it works these days, we can only all together. And now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the part that affects our lives so much. And this topic has such a big impact, but many people don't even consider that it's also connected to the way we treat our planet, the way we affect ecology, and ultimately the way it affects our lives. It is the topic of fashion, and anyone who has seen the forum, Global Crisis, Where People We Want to Live, there was this amazing video which shows how much inhumane the fashion industry is to the people, and we are wearing these clothes which cost human lives. The price of it is not just a price tag in the shopping mall. Sometimes on the sale, the price of these goods, which in huge amounts are being so often destroyed by the end of the season without even going on sale, right? The price of this is cost of how much human life costs. It has no value. You cannot value it. It should be the highest value in our civilization. But we don't even know in what kind of inhumane conditions people have to work sometimes just to produce it, because simply to make enough to survive the day. Lena, could you please tell us more about this topic from your knowledge?
Thank you. So let me just put it in this way, that my temptation for clothes has, is been replaced by the awareness. Now, fortunately, the thing is, before 2 years, somehow I felt like giving up all my Indian sarees and dresses and Western clothing, everything, almost around 68, 69 dresses, and I just gave them. I don't know why. But in 2020, this thing happened. And today, I'm so much proud of myself. After being the part of the forum, I mean, I'm so correct. I'm on the right path that yes, it was an insight before 2 years, but now it is that step which I have taken by being the part of the forum. So after interpreting it in Marathi language, what I found is, I'm going to share that, is that the production of clothing is the world's second largest industry in terms of slavery, number one. The second is the Rana Plaza event, which happened, and it took around 1,000 plus lives. I mean, in pursuit of happiness or this temporary happiness, what are we doing? Are we seriously the conscious human being? Are we aware of it, what we are doing? Next thing happens is like 20,000 liters of water it takes for just creating or manufacturing a pair of jeans and t-shirt. Oh my God. And if we just calculate 2 liters per day for a normal person, it will be 27 years, enough water. And that's how I went a little bit, in searching and doing the research on that. It came into existence that these marketeers are, really impressive enough to work subconsciously on our minds, to work that, yes, you need it. You need that stuffing, you need those clothing, and that's an addiction. It creates serotonin, it creates the temporary happiness, and we go in search of that, we go chasing that. And that's how, after the forum, I have taken a very bold decision that I am not going to buy a single clothing till my last breath. I have to keep myself fit. I don't have to be obese. That's the number one. But yes, I will do that. And I will keep myself fit so that I won't require any new clothing. And that's but sure. That's how I can, contribute to the society. And I'm really, really thankful enough for the Creative Society for bringing this awareness, which had that journey, unintentionally it started 2 years before by giving up all those clothings. And this minimalism, this has come in, I have applied this in my life. So the new trend, or what is in, is, it is called as a new rich. A new rich is the minimalism. It's the minimum, needs, and that's how you want to contribute to the society. And I'm happy that I'm the part of this, and I'm really happy of this awareness and the action which I have taken. I've been talking with most of the people here in Canada, as well as my Indian friends. to go to creative society and actually observe and then take a decision whether you want to be a part of this or not. It's completely an individual choice. That's what I feel.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for bringing this topic, because, well, it's true that by fashion we can understand a lot of things. And if we dig really deep, we can see that everything is fashion. Like we are accustomed, we are taught to change not only clothes, but technology, like our smartphones, our cars, and everything needs to be of the latest model. And this is how we not only pollute the planet, but we also render lives of so many people miserable. And this really has to stop. And you brought another very important thing to the table, and this is spreading the information. Because you said that I was talking to all the people around me and told them to go and check Creative Society website. This is very important, because this is where it all starts. We start by talking to other people, because not a lot of people even allow themselves to think that we can change the world we live in today. And can you please, maybe you can ask Niendo to tell more also on this, how important it is to spread this vital information about Creative Society to everyone on this planet?
Yeah, I think this information, if reach more people, there will be a lot of changes, because we can act on climate changes through individual, and then we can come to the community, because issues of lifestyle, issues of planting tree, or issues of managing the waste, is actually an individual. So when we manage to do so through Creative Society, when we create such community or such kind of people who can value their environment rather than their personal value.
Yes, Niendo, thank you so much. And for saying that we really can build a community starting locally from building the prospering society that lives on different demands, right? Because consuming is what we are used to. The whole environment in which we growing up, it was basically saying consume, buy more, stand out from the crowd, don't be like everyone else. But this is the trick. It really makes you behave just like everyone else. And being different is taking actions, exactly like what Lena said, this simple example, right? By sharing, by giving, right? How can you switch from consuming into creativeness? By giving, just like how much do people really need? Recently from Eastern Europe, so many of our friends became refugees and experienced on their own skin what it's like to leave your country with nothing except your backpack and what you have on yourself, just a pair of jeans and some shirt. And how much do people really need just to be accepted, just a shelter, some food, and some clothes? And people change values. When these climatic events happened, it should make our society more humane towards each other and create a different demand. Not a demand to stand out from the crowd, be yourself, drink a can of soda or something, but a demand to be human from capital H. And to all our viewers, if this message resonates with you, please share this video stream on your social media. Go on creativesociety.com, write us a letter and participate, just like our guests today. All of us are volunteers. No one is being paid for it. No one is benefiting in any other way other than making a better, secure future for ourselves and future generations to come, because all humanity deserves to live as one family, and this is what all people want. And it takes a little action from each one of us, first of all, to share this information, to watch the forum, because all starts with the knowledge. When we know, we can make a demand, we can make take action based on our knowledge. As Niendo mentioned, yes, reducing the amount of, we can call carbon footprint, or just the damage, let's put it plainly, damage that we do to the environment at all. And it also takes consuming goods. It also comes to consuming information. So let's be responsible with it too. And maybe we could also share some final thoughts and wishes from our dear guests to our viewers. And Niendo, could we start with you?
Yeah, as I can say, we are in a time for crisis now. So there is no anyone who can come and solve that problem. We as human beings, we are the source of the problem, and we shall sit and solve the problem. And I think it's time now to tell the truth rather than hiding the information that climate change is our enemy.
Thank you. And it is true that we are the only ones who can change this. We now know that no one will do it for us. And this is for sure. We have so much evidence of the past decades, if not centuries, that no one will build a better world for us. And this really, this is the most important thought, I think, that we should also share with everyone, that we should not wait on someone else to do it. Lina, maybe some thoughts or wishes from your part.
Yeah. So I feel future depends on the personal choice of an individual. I completely agree to. But we need to understand that why we are doing what we are doing. It's very important because nature doesn't see that. Whatever we are going to invest and whatever we are investing currently, we are going to get the repercussions of that. And climate is just a part of it. Nature gives you back. It's going to give you back. So we need to, instead of being in so-called pursuit of peace and happiness and whatnot, we call it as or tag it as, we are becoming more mechanical and technical. And once we are investing so much mechanically, technically, the nature itself is going to give us the consequences. So we need to understand what we are investing and why we are investing. That's what I feel. It's an individual choice. From my end till my last breath, I have taken an oath that yes, I will be there, who will be sharing every day to 5 people about Creative Society. Because what wonderful job it is doing, what mission we are on. It's really commendable. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I love how you say our mission, because it's really our mission of each one of us and personal responsibility. And as Alexei said, we had hundreds of years of experience that without people start taking action, nothing changes. I would say it's thousands of years. If we remember our school history, what did we learn? That some rulers fought for resources, created big armies, and tried to steal from one another some resources by human lives. The cost of those resources have been human lives. And in today's world, some countries are a little bit better evolved, some stayed in autocracies, but it really comes to the people to create this demand for unity. Without this, nothing's going to change. But considering that the first time, just think about it, first time in the history of our humanity, we have a chance to connect with people from any part of the planet and ask one another, hey, what do you actually want? How do you want to live? Is it true that we are being told by the media that we are enemies? And when we talk to one another, we find out we have no enemies. We're all people, and 99.9% of us want the same thing, to live safely, to make sure that we're taking care of environment and take care of one another, because that's really all we have. The whole planet is our home, and whole humanity is our family. And if this message resonates with our viewers, please join us by such a simple step. Press join us button on the creativesociety.com, and you can be the part of building this better, brighter, prospering, creative society for all of us to live in. Thank you so much, our dear guests, for being with us today. And thank you, all our viewers. Thank you, Alexei, for co-hosting. And thank you, all our behind-the-scene people. There is a huge technical team. There are multiple translations going on right now in this very moment on multiple channels of Creative Society. And all this done by people themselves. So thank you so much. The best way to find out how it works is to join. And yes, we're looking forward to it and looking forward to our next international discussion. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Do you know that people stopped being silent? International discussions.
The truth is that when it comes to migrations and refugees, it is a business.
I saw the market where the children selling out openly.
4 days we were facing the sniper shot us and the bullets above our heads.
If we do not address such issues like human trafficking, tomorrow it could be you, tomorrow it could be me.
Politics is driving the science, not the science driving the politics.
Many people want us to stop to talk, but I say no. This reality can affect and can take your life anytime.
People are losing everything.
$270 trillion.
Where is the money? And where is the result?
This 12,068-year cycle is a clock cycle.
All these problems that we're facing right now, you cannot tackle alone.
Thank goodness we have the Creative Society
to choose human life over currency.
We're living in one big home, and if this big family fighting with each other, destroying walls of the home, tomorrow we will find ourselves in the streets without a roof, without the families.
From every corner, we can actually hear that it is not economically beneficial. But the question is, economically, it is not beneficial for whom? Isn't beneficial for us people to save our own lives?
We need to bring together all of the intellect, all to the science, all of the people that can actually do something.
I think that the members of Creative Society are the new and real superheroes.
These people already understand that we should urgently act. Do you want to become part of changes? Take action. Don't be silent. You are invited to the new season of international discussions. Watch the forum, Global Crisis. We are people. We want to live. Changes begin from you.